We're back again. Picking up from where we were last time, which if I go to the blog, 6 cleanup and modularity, cleanup.
Right, okay, so we're back.
What we're doing is we were changing from the previous method of each item having or each type of item having an array over to each object, or each space for effect having its own array that we access. Makes it much cleaner, much less mess for the patcher to, or for Max to error on. This takes a long time, hour and 37 minutes I think this video is. We start getting somewhere. We've actually got quite a nice system built, but we're running into a problem where we can't correctly reset our... Sorry, just having a drink. We can't correctly reset the system. So at the moment it is working to a degree, but every time that it receives values, it thinks that it's the first time or that values have changed. So we're going to go back and have a look and see if we can fix it, and then go from there. So this is the AES as it is. At the moment we've only got delay and frequency shift set up, but as soon as we solve this problem we'll move over and address time, stretch and freeze. So we can plug in what we want. It correctly wires it all up for us really nicely. It tells which is which and then plugs it all in at the end. I think I can play sound. Maybe. I think my audio device might be wrong. Oh, it's because that isn't actually plugged in. Oh, I've hidden it. Oh, it's all gone wrong, guys. What a day. What a day. Right, okay, here you see firsthand, so we can spawn one. Let's properly connect this dude up. So there is a little issue with the connection up at the moment. That's fine. We can fix that. Max console isn't getting us any errors. So everything's still working. That's fine. We believe that. But this is the issue here. So let's load in our JavaScript. Separate that onto the other page. I really wish I'm using Windows now. I used to use a Mac, and I want nothing more than a trackpad so I can scroll left and right with ease. It's an absolute nightmare having to reach down here. I want to be able to hold space and drag or something that you can in other apps. Anyway, I digress. So all the way down the bottom here we have this function set up, which is what we effectively are sending now. Let me move that onto the page just in case I open it again. Yeah, so we have setup. So we send it 4 numbers, and those 4 numbers are pumped into other things. The first being we take a sample of the previous list of numbers into an array called previous numbers, reset the array of numbers, and then tell it to go do things. And the first one being that if the first index in previous numbers is not equal to undefined, or it is equal to -1, then it is to go in here. Well, I think that's my first problem already, is that should be equals. Yeah, so basically what we're trying to do, we're trying to catch if the array hadn't been properly initialized. So basically if selector and selector here, when you slice it, it means that you just list out all of its elements to copy it into another array. So if selector hadn't been initialized yet, e.g. we hadn't received any numbers, then it means that previous numbers would be undefined. I think that actually might solve some of our problems if I scroll along. I'm gonna have to delete everything. I'm gonna see if I can give myself more room to play with here. So if I do delay we change the middle one to a delay as well. So basically what we should see happening is that the other objects don't change. So, I mean, you can see here what we've got at printing is the previous numbers list and then the list that is being set to afterwards. It shouldn't be changing here. So in that we change the first instance. So that's what it was, that's what it is. And we have a comparison down here that says, it says yes or undefined, which means that it's thinking previous numbers is equal to undefined or it's equal to -1, which clearly it isn't, because it is defined and it is real. So it's just a little issue like this we've got to address, and we should start making progress. So basically what we want to do is when that is correct, it means that we can start coming into these parts, which will go and regenerate only the parts that we have changed rather than the whole thing, which is a little frustrating. Let's not save it, let's restart it. So Max console, if we look at the JavaScript, as it currently stands, it won't have received a message. So if we send it something, you'll see that the 4 values are undefined because it is currently printing, it'll be printing just previous numbers as of here because it doesn't exist beforehand. And they're all undefined, which I would let's print the whole thing. So you can see that is a problem there, because at this point, the next time around it is correctly showing the value, which is even more confusing. Alright, and let's do another test. So if previous numbers 0 is equal to 0, then do something. Post index 0 is equal to 0. Post. Save that. Right, okay, yes, so we are executing that piece of code, which is fine. So let's do another test. So if it's equal to undefined, so now again, because this is the first time we're running it, after saving it, it will say it's undefined. But you can see it's not. Maybe it's because the value is wrong. I'm just thinking if the way that we are or defining undefined is incorrect. Let's look at Google JavaScript. Check if array is not sequential, undefined. Type of array. Ooh, interesting. So let's have a look. If type, did it actually say type of? Yes, it did say type of. Is equal to undefined. So now it should say index equals is undef. Save. Oh, I think we might be onto a winner. So if I do this again and it doesn't say index 0 is undefy, okay, we're getting somewhere. I have no idea why this is triggering. It's probably just some capture exception in JavaScript that's not working, as in, because that should error. That should say that isn't actually, it's neither undefined or it's -1, so no, we shouldn't go in here. So now we can do this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Save it. And I'm going to clear max for this as a celebration. Okay, so that is correct. It should remake them all. But now, if I change the first index, it should tell us that I've changed it. Yes. And it should mean that I only changed the first one. This is very exciting, guys. I think we might have solved what we were trying to do for the last half an hour in the other video. Right, okay, so I'm going to save the JavaScript to clear it all. It should create all 4. And now if I just change the second one, it should change only the second one. How can we check that? That's a good question. So let's play something. Let's put a whack effect on this. Change the second one. We've done it. Because the audio effect hasn't been altered on this one, we can pretty much guarantee that it is actually working. So let's put This makes me incredibly excited. We're finally getting somewhere. Okay, brilliant. So now we can stop making that terrible drum sound. I'm going to zoom back in a bit. I'm going to save, and I'm going to go in and clean up the comments in here. So you can see what's happening is every time that so when it gets past the first hurdle of saying yes, the start is undefined, it creates L4, and then obviously it's no longer undefined, so it goes through and it resets it resets only the selector that has changed by passing it the new ID of the object we want to make. Very exciting. Now we can go up to our clear, and in here, instead of making it -1, what we can do is we can just previous numbers dot length equals 0. Save that. Let's see if that's throwing an error. So if we delete everything because I've saved the JavaScript, delete, clear all, delete. So the array hasn't properly reset when I did clear all. So this is another part of the problem. So let's go back and have a look at that. I wonder how I do multiple. JavaScript if type of or number. JavaScript type of or JavaScript or if or. Okay, we've got another test to do. So down the bottom here, I can apparently all but remove this. Does this actually work? 0 is equal to -1. Save. Post. Okay, so it does set it to -1. And now you can see it's not recreating it because the value didn't change to undefined. I wonder how to set an array value. JavaScript. Delete. Aha. So now if I just do, God, this code is heavy. Okay, that seemed to have worked. So now, spoke too soon. Oh, I think it might be because I'm not evaluating the global. I think down here this is being made as a eval. So it goes from being 0 to -1. 0, -1, -1, -1, -1, -1. Delete frequency, delete, 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 delete. It is not recreating everything because it doesn't think the number has changed from what it previously was. Clear all. Right, okay. We were almost there, and then this clear all thing screwed us. Do we ever need to be able to clear all? Well, technically no, because once they're made, that's it. So maybe I just remove that entirely because it's not actually ever needed. Purely just for a testing thing for us. Right, okay, for now I'll comment it out. JavaScript multi-line comment. I think it's like exclamation mark and hash star. So this should now work as we intended to. Creates a delay, frequency shift, frequency shift, frequency shift, delay, create an effect. I'm really liking this, it is getting somewhere. Right, okay, yes, we can now verify that we don't actually need that stuff. What we do need to do is start implementing these two. So we're going to do exactly what we did before, as we're going to make it as we need it. So what do we have going into time? Oh Jesus, we need to clean this up first. Look at that mess. Right, okay, let's unlock it, delete that, delete that. Signal. Right, okay, so we have a reset coming in on 6. We need to change the audio. Right, okay, so the first one we need to do is, what the hell is that gate for? Oh, I presume that gate is something to do with passing the audio through, so let's remove that for now and we can come back to that in a minute. This sets the loop in and out. Yeah, so that sets it to the start and end point. This route starts and stops the actual playback. I'm actually 2 seconds.